It would, yeah, it would run. Yeah, but I just want to get it idling down smooth like the other Volkswagen.
Cade could stop it alone.
Let's go. Oh, nice bucket.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, so if you roll it, the glass breaks, you're free to go.
Right.
Depending on the crash.
Gosh, this thing's tiny. It is. It's a really small
Hey,
car.
Okay, do you just want me to lay the plexiglass across the seat?
Yeah, you can.
When a 6'2" man come out of a small car, it kind of looked wanky. Janky. I mean, he's shorter than you, so I thought it was funny you showed it. You were like, dude.
I guess this is mine now.
Freaking boy bond.
Don't open it.
You got a tarp to put over it?
Yeah, right there.
Rainwater never hurt nobody.
It hurt electronics.
What electronics?
No, we're leaving it.
Hey,
No,
Cade,
put it in tonight.
I think you could gun this under a semi truck.
You probably.
You definitely could.
Dude.
Well, not with him in it.
Dude, you know where?
Nah, bro,
Shut
that's
up.
extra suspension.
Hey, you know, like the little you got to pay to park.
Yeah.
It fits under those.
Hey, Cade, you know where we
Not the
got to make a
spoiler.
trip to in it? Nashville. Yeah.
Oh
God,
man.
how are you gonna make it to Nashville
Magic.
with no motor? Yeah,
That's a
we'll
Bluetooth
get
engine.
enough speed down this hill.
we'll roll it. It rolls pretty damn good.
Cade, since you went inside, I'm going to say this. It is better looking than the Camaro.
Very much.
You know what it reminds me of?
A Ferrari and a Corvette had a baby.
Well, that, but it also reminds me of the old school Jags. You know what I'm talking about, right? The old
Yeah.
Jag race cars. That's what it kind of gives off as a style. It's like a Lotus, a Corvette, a Jaguar.
It's a Sterling.
Yeah, they all had a baby. And then it's using Nova as the name. It's not a Chevy, but it's a Nova.
It's fighting back. So right here, I started to prep the engine to come out. This was a 2003 Forester. That's just the 2.5 liter with single overhead cam. But I intended for this to be pretty much a temporary setup for the Sterling. End result, I want to get a 2.5 liter STI motor or even WRX, but just to get me on the road, this is what I used. So I've gotten done all that I can for today without a cherry picker or a engine hoist, but it's all ready to come out. transmission's unbolted. I mean, the engine is literally just being held in there by gravity. So, things I've got to do now that I can do without the cherry picker is start working on the wiring and pulling it. So, all this is going to have to come through the firewall, and it's just this big old grommet right there. Everything on the engine will just stay on the engine because that's how Subarus are. Freaking love it. It's amazing. So, I've already got this fender off, so I can start pulling the main fuse box. This is just the engine fuse box. I won't have to use the fuse box inside the car. I will have to use this one though, because it runs all of the fuel pump, crankshaft position sensor, pretty much all the stuff, all the core functions to make the engine run. So really the next step is just to start pulling this whole dash out. I've started a little bit on the shifter bezel. That's really as far as I've gotten. So we will see how she goes. I just need to go through the harness and really just weed out things I don't need. And there's going to be a lot of stuff I don't need. The main thing out here that I need are those connectors there to be running the fans. So I will be using the ECU to run all the fans and everything. And then all the wiring on the car that's already been done will just be running pretty much the lights and accessories like that, radio. And then pretty much I'll just be using the wiring harness on this car to run all the core functions for the engine. And, you know, I'm probably gonna just splice into the ignition loom itself and then just run it to a switch. So, but the starter and everything will run off the wiring that's already on the Sterling. So we'll just play it by ear, honestly. All right, so I finally got the cherry picker. We had a little bit of everybody over here helping me get this thing out. Right now I'm unbolting the exhaust manifold and getting it out of the way. And then the transmission actually fought me a little bit. Once I got that to actually release, it was pretty smooth sailing there. All right, so we got the engine out and everything. I just still got to go through some of the firewall wiring. I got to figure out. Actually, I'm gonna have to pull most of that wiring through the firewall on that side. Inside, yeah, it's busted. But yeah, gotta pull some of the wiring from that side to actually get the engine fuse box out, and then I've got the accessory fuse box in there, and I'll have to go through, figure out what I need. So I've got the main wiring harness out that runs the engine, like the ECU and everything. I'm really just gonna have to go through that, figure out what I don't need. And the main thing I need from the inside is the OBD2 port. I'm gonna need to pull that fuse box out and figure out what's what. Most of that just runs the accessories like heated seats and windows and whatnot, but I still got to get I've got to sort through the wiring that would be running the gauge cluster. I've got the circuit board right here. So let's see, these three lights is oil pressure, battery light, and then check engine light. I'm gonna have to sort through those. All of it's ran through this connector right here, and I've already went through the wiring harness and pulled separate section those wires out. So I'll be able to just have constant ground and then run the lights to the dash and go from there. Well, I've run out of daylight and it's about to storm on me, but I don't care. I've got a lot done today. So if anybody's interested or want to know, this is Kennedy Engineering Performance Adapter Plate, because for now I'm gonna have to run the Volkswagen transmission. All that's bolted up and torqued down. Literally all I gotta do is just put the flywheel on, and that's right here, along with the new clutch. So yeah, it's all coming along really well. I found the throttle position sensor. These wires were like broke clean off the connector, so I'm just gonna get a new connector and solder that up. Other than that, this is the main engine harness connection, and it'll all just bolts into the car, and then I can just literally connect the whole harness. I don't really have to rewire anything other than the grounds. I could delete that too, EGR. But other than that, I mean, she's ready to drop into the car. So alrighty, let's put an engine in, shall we? Sweet. So all we really got to do at this point to get the engine prepped to go in, we got to take this off and the power steering. Already got the new clutch on, adapter plate, flywheel and all that. Bypass the heater core. So let's move back to the AC compressor and get going with that. Well, that takes care of that. So all that there's really left to do at this point is slide it under the car. What I'm gonna have to do is put the engine on this little dolly. Hope it don't tip over. Go back under and raise the car up a little bit more, get the engine under there, let the car back down on the jack stands, and then literally pull the engine hoist over and snake it through the louvers. So yeah, I'll update y'all in a sec. So really what I got to do now is just lubricate this spline. It's got a new throw up bearing and everything, so lubricate the spline. I've got the lubricant right here, and then really the engine's ready to go in. So all right, well, this was a fairly simple process. I just jacked the car up, slid the engine underneath, and then just pulled the engine up through. It took me a little bit to finagle it up in there because there's just barely enough clearance even for this little Subaru engine. Like I said, I really wanted to go with a V8 eventually, but I'd have to do a mid-engine setup and actually tuck the engine up underneath the body a little bit better. But this will do for now. All right, everybody, so we've got the engine in now. She's all mounted up and ready to go. Really all I got to do now is figure out the wiring harness and figure out. So here's what I'm thinking on the radiator. Is literally I'm going to have the top mounts, or the stud mounts. I'm going to make up some brackets attached to this window flange. And then literally I'm just going to have it slope down. And I'm probably going to use a Honda half radiator. So I mean, I can really not even see out of that back glass anyhow, but I have a solution for that. And another thing, these connectors, I'm sure I'm going to get comments about it. Yes, this is going to change resistance of how the TPS reads, or throttle position sensor. I have a solution for that. I have a Tetrix cable and ECU flash, so I'll be able to rescale this and it'll be reading properly after that. I'm probably gonna run a 90-degree elbow from the intake. It's gonna snake through, and then this is gonna be the engine intake for now, because eventually I'm gonna be doing turbocharging it. And for all the people that saying I should have put an LS in it, there's just not, I mean, there's not room. I would love to have a V8 in this, but I would have to do mid-engine instead of rear engine. But yeah, thank y'all so very much for following along. This whole thing is coming together a lot quicker than I thought, and I really appreciate all of y'all's support. Like I've said in multiple videos in the past, I mean, I'd definitely be doing this build, but having y'all support really it really encourages me, and I really thank each and every one of y'all. That's really all I got today for the 71 Nova. Stay tuned, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.